My presentation is on the book Adjusted Margin, Xeriography, Art, and Activism in the Late 20th Century by Kate Eichhorn, Chair and Associate Professor of Culture and Media at the New School. This book was published by MIT Press in 2016. This book is a history of a common machine with a deep affinity to people on the margins, people living on geographic margins outside urban centers, and people affiliated with symbolic margins, the margins that gather up the punks, the queers, the immigrants, the visibly marked, and so on. It is also a social history of a banal office technology and how it came to play a major role in the development and dissemination of late 20th century aesthetic and political movements. Eichhorn illustrates how the development of the Xerox machine, a machine designed to eliminate mostly women's clerical work, the ads explicitly featured women, how this technology upended traditional print culture and distribution and gave a voice and community to the counterculture of artists, activists, and marginalized communities. This print counterculture on the margin of society seemed illegitimate and dangerous at times. With the Xeriography, renegade authors and publishers were free to distribute texts using non-standardized spellings, unconventional grammar, and with or without regard to the paratextual conventions that had come to define printed works. Finally, with Xeriography, the need to reproduce languages of power weakened as the ability to reproduce documents and distribute them both locally and across vast distances did not depend on whether or not official languages were being replicated. In this sense, one might conclude that the apparent stability and uniformity of print cultures were effectively interrupted by the heterogeneity fostered by Xeriography. For all these reasons, Xeriography might be construed as a medium that weakened the nationalisms originally bolstered by print. As access to copy machines increased, urban curbs, gutters, flagstones, trees, posts, poles, bins, bridges, fences, barrels, boxes, and signs were all claimed as potential parts of this urban canvas. Before digital social media, the production and distribution of photocopied posters played an integral role in publicizing events and concerts that would be difficult to promote otherwise. Zines further shifted the power dynamic of publishing, distribution, place, and audience away from the mainstream. Eichhorn shares her own experience in New York queer activism of the 80s and 90s with groups such as ACT UP and the Lesbian Avengers. She writes, "One could reproduce documents on a copy machine without a trace. This enabled queer activists not only to reproduce materials that might have been censored, but to frequently do so for free on copy machines in their workplace. This illicit copying would make businesses like Condé Nast, Microsoft, and NBC unintentional underwriters of activism before they would ever formally be involved." In her conclusion, Eichhorn mourns the Xerox machine as obsolete technology without the steampunk sexiness of the typewriter. However, she envisions Xerox immortality in the following ways: as a counterculture aesthetic emulated by contemporary designers, as a visual signifier of a specific style, attitude, and politics that changed how we lived, created, connected, and organized ourselves in public spaces at the end of the 20th century. existing as a monument, as a kind of pre-digital social media, forming the foundation of the social network and continued activism and communication that exists today.